So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Football with Priscilla. I am Priscilla, obviously. So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And ladies and gentlemen, today I just want us to talk about the Manchester United versus Sunderland game, in which we saw Manchester United beat Sunderland 2-0. But before we get into the video for today, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and do turn your notifications on, ladies and gentlemen, to know when next I post a video. Now guys, I know you're like, Priscilla, you look all put together. What's going on? Guys, it's Sunday. I'm ready to go to church. I'm waiting for everyone else who's going to church. So I'm like, you know what? Before we can go to church, amen, let's make a video. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, let's get into the video for today. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is how Manchester United set up versus Sunderland. In goal, we had Lammens. Backline, we had Lenny Yoro, we had Matthias De Ligt, we had Luke Shaw. Midfield, we had Amad Diallo, we had Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and Diego Dalot. Up front, we had Buemo and Mason Mount, and just in front of the two, we had Benjamin Sesko. 2-2, by the way. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is how Sunderland set up versus Manchester United. I'm just letting you guys know now that I am about to butcher every single name of these Sunderland players. My apologies. Okay. So for Sunderland, ladies and gentlemen, in goal we had Rufus. Wow. And then backline we had Hume, we had Mukiele, we had Aldarete, and we had Masuaku. And then midfield, we had Sadiki, we had Xhaka, which was so good to see Xhaka, by the way. Xhaka, Arsenal, remember? Yes, Xhaka. And then in the front line, we had Adigra, we had Lefe, and we had Traore. And just in front of the three, we had Isidore. I don't know. Like, listen, I said apologies. I am butchering the names. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is how the team set up, with Manchester United playing the classic 3-4-3 formation, which Amorim has said he will die on, and he will not change whatsoever. In Sunderland, ladies and gentlemen, we are playing a 3-2-3-1 formation. Okay, with that said, let's get into the match analysis for the day. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, my first point with regards to the Manchester United game, disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I was unable to watch the whole game because electricity, okay? In every video, I have been telling y'all that I've been making videos in the dark because my country is going through the trenches. We are having energy crisis, electricity problems. So ladies and gentlemen, I was only able to catch the second half and not the first half. And I know the question will be like, but Priscilla, why didn't you stream? Because when I asked for a streaming app, or when I asked for a link to stream, nobody was getting back to me until the second half. And someone was like, oh, use this, that. And thank you so much to that person who helped me. I hope they watched my videos, by the way. Good guy. So thank you. Then I managed to stream. And ladies and gentlemen, I caught the Manchester United game from the second half. So do let me know in the comment section below. For you guys who are able to watch the game, from the first half, how it happened, I'm sure I'll watch the highlights. I mean, the goals were obviously in the first half, which I did watch. What a wonderful goal by Benjamin Sesko and Mason Mount. If you know me, you know I'm not a huge fan of Mason Mount. I don't like Mason Mount. He's not my cup of tea, okay? He's not my cup of tea as a footballer, so listen, I was like, oh. But yeah, kudos to Mason Mount. That was a very well taken goal. So ladies and gentlemen, my first point is, for me, I was very impressed with the fact that we were moving the ball a little bit more quicker in the first half. Like, this is something that we haven't seen for Manchester United in a long time. You could see if Bruno gets the ball quickly, he gives it Casemiro. Casemiro gets the ball quickly, he gives it to Dalot. Dalot quickly crosses. Like, if it goes to Amad, Buemo, Amad, like Amad, Bruno Fernandes. Like, they were not thinking with the ball. It was like fast-paced football. And I enjoyed that. So it was so good to see. Second point, ladies and gentlemen, is Lammens. I'm pretty sure everyone wants to talk about Lammens. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't know if it's Senne, Lammens, or it's Senne, Lammens. But let's say it's Lammens. Now, I know everyone is raving about Lammens, how his debut, like, I think his Premier League debut was absolutely amazing. Like, I did not expect that. First of all, I didn't even know who Lammens was. Like, I didn't know who Senne Lammens was. Guys, I just knew him in the transfer window. I had never watched him, but people were like, he plays for Frankfurt, he's such a good player. And I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, we have Bayandia and Onana and Tom Heaton. How bad could it be? So obviously we got the men, ladies and gentlemen, and for his debut, I think he did well. These are the points that I got on Lammens. So he was comfortable with coming out to get the ball. There was one where he almost hit the Sunderland defender, which would have been a straight red and a penalty. But lucky enough, he did not hit the Sunderland player, but ended up hitting Bruno Fernandes. So he's comfortable coming out. He's comfortable. You could see how he was shouting, he was commanding his box, which was so good to see. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I think he's comfortable with his saves. One thing I'm going to say is I think he needs to work on his distribution. If we want which is why we let go of, what's his name, this guy, De Gea. We want a ball playing goalkeeper. I think Lammens is young and he can always become that. He can always become a ball playing goalkeeper if that's the way we want him to go. I feel like he's a player that can adapt easily, and we could see how he was commanding the box, but his distribution is very limited. He ended up giving away the ball with his distribution. Like, he wasn't able to find the target. But hey, like, I feel like the kid is learning the trade, so I will not really attack him for that. I feel like, yeah, the kid is learning the trade, and you know what, it's good. Okay, I was very impressed. The saves, clean sheet on debut, clean sheet. Hopefully he can be what Manchester United have been looking for, because clearly Onana and Bayern have shown us flames. So ladies and gentlemen, with Senne Lammens, like I said, I think his debut was absolutely amazing. An interesting goalkeeper to look out for in the near future. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the negatives, because it's never Manchester United. It's never Manchester United if we do not talk about the negatives. And here are the negatives. So the third point, ladies and gentlemen, is I feel like after the 65th minute, we became a bit passive. We allowed Sunderland into the game. And lucky enough, that was Sunderland. Now, listen, if we were playing a Liverpool, an Arsenal, a Chelsea, even a Brentford, okay? If we were playing even a Brentford, ladies and gentlemen, okay, for the life of me, right, we would have conceded. We were 2-0 up. Second half, 65th, 75th minute, and we allowed Sunderland to get into the game, to get back into the game. Like, I know we were 2-0 up, and I'm sure just like me, a lot of other Manchester United fans were nervy, because Sunderland started controlling the game. Sunderland got into the game, which was very scary for me. I was like, what's going on? So we became passive towards the end of the game, and I was very uncomfortable with that. That leading into my fourth point, which is Manchester United still have not learned the art of controlling the game since Sir Alex Ferguson. Yes, I'm bold enough to say since Sir Alex Ferguson, because we've seen in a lot of instances they'll play well for the first half and parts of the second half, but we just don't know how to, for some reason, control the game. We always end up becoming passive. We always end up just becoming laissez-faire, and we allow the teams to get back into the game, which I think, for me, if we're playing a big team, will come and haunt us. And that we're lucky that was Sunderland, and we didn't really have a lot to do. We controlled at the midfield for large parts of the game, but there was a certain point at which we lost control, and Sunderland came at us and came back in the game. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, I think it was a relatively good game. It was actually better that was playing as Sunderland. I hope Sunderland would bring the game against Manchester United. If you're an oldie like me, you remember the times when Sunderland was part of the Premier League. We had Wigan, we had Birmingham, like we had all those teams. And so I thought, oh, them coming back is going to be like, they're going to be like, yeah, we're coming back for you, Manchester United and whatnot. But lucky enough, ladies and gentlemen, I think Manchester United players were like, today we don't want to kill our fans. Okay, we're going to play well. And so, ladies and gentlemen, special mentions, by the way, before we end the video, Benjamin Sesko, like, 2 in 2, okay? He scored versus Brentford, and he now scored versus Sunderland. And I think when he was coming into Manchester United, I thought, he's not my cup of tea. If you know me, okay, you know that I'm a traditional number 9 type of fan. I like the Van Nistelrooys, the DJ Drogbas. Those are the strikers that I love, that I thrive on. Like, those are the strikers that I prefer. And so when Benjamin Sesko was coming to Manchester United, I was like, I don't know. He feels like he's a runner. He doesn't feel like he's one that will stay in and around the 18-yard area. And I have been proven wrong, because his goal versus Sunderland is a goal poacher's goal. Sneaking behind the defender. When the defender doesn't realizing, boom, you score. That's a traditional number 9 type of goal. That's a goal poacher goal. So you know what? Kudos to Benjamin Sesko. And so, ladies and gentlemen, finally, the question is, Having seen how Manchester United have started the season, obviously we lost to Brentford and fans lost their minds. Okay, they lost their minds. So like Reuben Amorim, we don't want this guy. Now we played Sunderland and we played relatively well. Have people changed their minds? What do you guys think? Should we still stick with Reuben Amorim and ride the wave, or are you guys like me, absolutely done? Personally, I was done last season. Okay, when we lost to Tottenham, I was done. But have you guys like changed your minds and you're like, oh no, you know what? Maybe we can see what Reuben Amorim can do. Let me know in the comment section below. So that's all I had for you guys today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Yes, I have disappeared, but ladies and gentlemen, I will be back. As I said, I am having an electricity problem in the country, so it's very difficult to make videos. But listen, I will try my best to put out whatever I can. So yeah, so that's all I had for you guys today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, and do turn your notifications on, ladies and gentlemen, to know when next I post a video. Bye, guys.